Hello everyone, welcome to the next review. Shorter review today for Sophia Vasalou's A Grammar. Wonder has been celebrated as the quintessential passion of childhood. From the earliest stages of our intellectual history, it has been acclaimed as the driving force of inquiry and the prime passion of thought. Yet for an emotion acknowledged so widely for the multiple roles it plays in our lives, wonder has led a singularly shadowy existence in recent reflections. Philosophers have largely passed over it in silence. Emotion theorists have shunned it as a case that sits awkwardly within their analytical frameworks. So what is wonder, and why does it matter? Now, I have to say, the reason that this review is going to be a shorter review is that unfortunately I'm not keen on this book. Although I did gain things from it, and I understood a decent amount of it, I have to say that the general effort is not helped at all by what seems to me to be a kind of self-indulgence in terms of the prose. It's mired in its own desire to try and appear. I feel like the text tries to be clear and completely flips it on its head by constantly repeating and layering the same points over and over again, but also trying to preempt what will come next, and then also continually going backward to the point where an entire paragraph could just be filler, essentially. This is a book on a subject that is extremely ambiguous and contradictory. This book deals with Wittgenstein, Heidegger, Hegel, Kant, Schopenhauer, mentions of techne and aporia and the Stoics and ascesis and things like this. It certainly does not help to have this kind of prose, and I guess I just need to give you some examples, which should thematize the character of the sublime as a dialectic of self-esteem and as a displacement of value that divests the overawing external spectacles of their value to reinvest this value in the subject that contemplates them and that turns back to contemplate itself with thrill. It is a semantic cascade that would seem to have stalked our account of wonder's programmatic cultivation at several junctures, yet its suggestiveness in this context emerges more strongly once its terms are joined to a thicker account of the nature of consciousness with an influential retinue in our recent philosophical past. For talk of stepping back or of detaching oneself from the scene may be innocent of technical freight, yet if our ears are prepared to pick up the echoes, it may recall us to that substantive account of consciousness spelled out by Sartre on Being and Nothingness, an account in which the notions of detaching or separating or, in its special idiom, annihilating, provide the stone of foundation. Far too many Latinate terms there, I have to say. I get the impression that the author just wants to appear intellectual. With that said, if you can stomach that kind of prose, keeping in mind that we're dealing with traditionally difficult thinkers and writers, the philosophy of wonder, which is itself difficult, I can recommend the book for its exploration of the history of wonder, the context behind wonder, and how it changed in people's thinking over time. These kind of central ambivalences between mastery and modesty, humility and pride. The fact that wonder might seem to always strike us as a rare experience, such as Philip Fisher talked about in his influential account. But in fact, it may actually need to be cultivated, which then points to artistic application in music and in film and in writing and art, things like this. It's all here. It's very much all here. In fact, so much of this does relate to my thesis and what I'm going to be talking about. It deals with romanticism, the sublime, defamiliarization. It even touches on the ecological aspect of humility, particularly with Ronald Hepburn's essay Wonder. It's all here. It's just extremely difficult to parse at times. I mean, we're dealing with, Vasalou says in this book that wonder is essentially the feeling of existence in and of itself. So it's difficult enough. It's a difficult enough subject. And this book is actually one of the most developed and most up-to-date and perhaps the fullest account of wonder in recent times. There are just endless long paragraphs of constantly preempting what will come next, and then also looking back to what's come before, but somehow not making that clearer. And that's the thing. I always try and give the author the benefit of the doubt. I'm fully aware that a lot of the subjects, a lot of the topics and terms and ideas in this book were quite outside of my comfort zone. I think if it wasn't for prior reading, especially on things like Romanticism and the difference between wonder and sublime, I would not have understood quite a lot of this book, in fact. I always try and read a book knowing that I, of course, don't know everything, and that I might just not have the mental faculties or capabilities to understand a particular work, but I'm convinced that, unfortunately, this book is not written in a very helpful way. With that said, again, if you can stomach this type of language and this type of subject, Sophia Vasalou's Wonder, a Grammar. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time.